रसिया वृंद नक गौर नक गौर बोल गौरा हरि गुण गाए डोल डोल वृंदावन करो लता प्रेम कोय हरि कथा वृंदावन करो लता प्रेम कोय हरि कथा निकुंजेर पकी बोले निकुंजेर हरि नाम सुना हरि नाम डोले डोले गौरा हरि गुण गाए गौर बोले हरि हरि सारी बोले हरि हरि गौर बोले सारी बोले हरि हरि मुखे मुखे सुख सारी मुखे मुखे हरि नाम गाय डोले डोले गौरा हरि गुण गाए डोले डोले गौरा हरि नाम मत होए हरिणासी चेदे हरि नाम हरिणासी चेदे मयूर मयूर प्रेम मतिया खिला डोले डोले गौरा हरि गुण गाए डोले डोले गौरा प्रण हरि ध्यान हरि हरि बोल वादन भोरी हरे राम गे गे से गले जाए गोरा हरि गुण गाए अथिया जमुनार कुले नाचे हरि हरि बोले अथिया जमुनार कुले नाचे हरि हरि बोले नासिया जमुना यमुना उठले से चरण धोया डोले डोले गौराता हरि गुण गाए डोले डोले आखिया वृंदावने नाथ गौरराय नाथ गौरराय हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण हरे गीता कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 गीता कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे कलियुग पावन हरिनाम संकीर्तन की श्री श्री गौर निताई की श्री श्री राधा मनमोहन की श्री श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा महारानी की श्रील प्रभुपाद की समावेत गौर भक्त वृंद की ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजना सहितं कृष्ण चैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिन्निति नामिने Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Nama Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvishe Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesh Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Dapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayeshva Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatyuttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. So this, I'm just showing you the notes what we did last time. Chanting Hare Krishna attentively with absorption. That's the one of the SLATE topics we're doing. I'm doing this one now, correct? We completed this also, I think, Sincere Attracts Guys, correct now? This we finished. Correct, we did it. So now we are doing this chanting Hare Krishna attentively with absorption. Huh? One class we did last time. How does inattentiveness spring from? We discussed about avidya and absorption in material roles and goals and strong metal. We elaborately discussed that. And then different type of vibhrama we discussed. This we elaborately discussed about renounced temperament of Vidura, Bhishma, Krura, correct? Then transcendently impure intelligence, Bhishma. Isn't it? Krishna, take my body, my hand will rotate the beads, that much I can do. But we are unable to give the mind. Why? We will see some more things today. Coming now? Where's the mic? Somebody can read the 2 points I read. Huh? Where's the mic?
Krishna says, Manmana Bhava, Mai Eva Mana Adasva. He wants our mind, but we are mostly able to give our body, not the mind during chanting. Reasons. Our mind gets hooked to the thought about one person whose worries become our worries due to material attachment. Example, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, story of boatmen not removing the anchor for wedding party.
Yeah. So, if the anchor was removed, then the boat would have reached the destination where they were about to conduct the wedding. Huh? But the anchor was stuck. Similarly, when we chant the holy name, often chanting is not very progressive and purifying. Rather, our mind has hijacked us, huh, and taken us somewhere else. And also, there is enough in this world at any given point of time to hook on to. Like, for example, a boy has written IIT JEE, the results are yet to come. Daily he thinks about the results, meditation. Results are not going to come today. It's going to come after a month. But nevertheless, his mind says, I have to worry about it now. You may ask the mind, if it's going to come after 30 days, why worry now? On 29th day you worry. For 29 days you live scot-free. But somehow mind's logic doesn't work that way. Mind thinks that till the results come every day. That means, we punish ourselves by accepting worries of happenings which are going to come in future. Anyway, in case he didn't make it in IITJE, the lamentation which he will get after 30 days, now only he laments. We unnecessarily punish ourselves. Read that? One of you?
Krishna. We punish ourselves for the results which will come in future, unnecessarily owing to wasting our mental energy in future worries. The main reason for this is our imagination that the control of results is in my hand, not in Krishna's hands.
Yeah. Maharaj wrote one article in his traveling preacher's diary. I read it. He says that once somehow some kind of tumor came in his body, the back. He could see it. So he went to the doctor and doctor saw that and said, oh, it could be benign or it could be malignant, neither he said. So he didn't know what it was. He asked him, what is it? So doctor said, if it is benign, that means, like for example, here I have this thing you see here. So when it popped up, I was a little worried, what is this? So I asked the doctor, it's nothing, he said. You don't have to worry. It's like there is an ending of the nerve where there's some blood gets accumulated there. So it doesn't harm. It doesn't. If you press it like this and keep it like this, it becomes flat. Again, it may fill up. So it's some kind of certain benign, some accumulation of flesh you may have in the body. They are not harmful. And then he asked, what is the other one? He said, malignant. He said, oh, what is a malignant? He said, oh, that can be cancer. And that can completely ravage the whole body and finish it in a very short period of time. His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Swami had that malignant tumor. How he was, he used to dance very powerfully in the kirtans. Hefty, good, very, very strong body. He had, but then the cancer eats up the body and makes it very, very skinny and everything. So, and he heard it, he was like shell-shocked hearing that. So he asked the doctor, can you immediately assess and tell me? He said, oh, that will take a while. Huh? He said, today is Friday. He said, Saturday, Sunday, we are closed. Only we can take your test today, but the results will come on Monday morning. Said, oh, that's too much. He said, it will be nice if we get today. Can you take my case as a special case and give me, He said, yeah, sometimes we may take some extra payment and we do it. Some of our people will do overwork. Maybe they can try for tomorrow, if not tomorrow, at least by Sunday morning, he said. So after that, they took the test, biopsy or whatever. And then Maharaj boarded the car. Maharaj very beautifully describes. He says that my whole mind became posted in that one particular tumor only. It came in front of my eyes. And I became very worried immediately that, Prabhupada, if it is malignant, if my body will be finished in 1 or 2 months, or 3 months, I have so many aspirations and ambitions to fulfill for you. And I have promised you many things that I will do in my life, which are all pending. And I have planned to do them in 10, 15 years. Now I don't have so much time in my hand. If it is going to be finished, how will I finish all those ambitions? So what is your plan? And so he was completely praying to Prabhupada, praying to Krishna, what is going to come. And so he didn't even know from the hospital to the place where he was supposed to stay. When he arrived, it was almost half an hour. The half an hour went like 1 minute. How it went, he didn't realize because mind was absorbed in that. As soon as he got down, lot of people came and gave flower bunches and everything with big smiles, and big loud kirtan was going on welcoming. He said, nothing mattered to me. He said, and I came. I saw some people's figures. I couldn't even look at their face also. It was all like vague pictures, because my whole mind was absorbed in that. And then he says, I went straight to the room. I closed the door, bolted the door. That's all. I just lied down in the bed. And then I was thinking, Prabhupada, what's your plan? Alas, now he immediately thought, if I have 40 things I have planned to do, if I were to prioritize them, that I have to do it in next 2 months, which one would be the top priority? So he started thinking very quickly. And he thought, maybe I can assemble some of my disciples and get some things fastly done. I want to write some books and things like that. Was thinking. So then he called that lab man 3, 4 times. And the lab man said, sir, you don't have to call me. Once it is ready, I will call you back. He said, in case you have done it fast, you can tell me. He said. And then next day he said, sir, by Saturday afternoon, 2 o'clock, you will get the result. We have told. So the Saturday morning, he was in very great anxiety, he said. Then 2 o'clock when he called the man, he rang the man. Tell me, was it benign or malignant? He said, yeah, the result has come now. Here is the result right in front of me. And then he got one phone call. Some other phone call came, another. Oh, I got another phone call, I'll just tell you. And the Maharaj said, you tell me first and then you attend to your call. I said, I'm coming. He took a couple of minutes. The Maharaj said that 2 minutes were like 2 yugas. What is he going to say? And then he said, wait a minute, Maharaj, I'm just opening the file, he said. Then he opened and said, oh, it is benign, he said. And Maharaj didn't say anything to him, but he threw away the phone. So Maharaj says, Maharaj is very honest about what feelings we get in our heart in such situations. Very nicely, dramatically expressed it. So he said, now I have some time. This is just a benign thing, nothing to worry. So the idea is, many of us, we don't think about death which can come at any time, generally speaking. So we think as if we are going to live for hundreds of years. Imagine like that. So, but when one mind gets hooked to one thought, which is worry about somebody or something, and that doesn't allow us to chant. And at any point of time, like I told you, a boy waiting for result, I told you. A man who was laid off from the job, adding insult to injury, his wife will cry, his mother and father will give some advice. Why didn't you take a permanent government job? Why did you join an IT company? And parents may say, they may not know what is a permanent job, what is a So everybody speaks and that acts like more insult to injury. He feels, seeing their insecurity, seeing them weeping, it causes him more fear and pain. What will I do? So before the results come, there is anxiety. And after one is laid off or something, then one cannot chant peacefully next day. Until one gets the next job, correct? No? Because once you have the job assurance, then you have the salary assurance. Otherwise, one is very much in anxiety. Same manner with, a lady is going to beget a child. She hopes and prays, I get a boy or instead of a girl or whatever. Nowadays, they find out also before. So, some parents, they rejoice having a girl child also. Very much. Like one Mataji had 3 boys. She got fed up with boys. She wanted a fourth girl. She was praying very strongly, going to all holy places, give me a girl. One girl. So that happened. For Dasharath, he had all boys. And for Romapad Maharaj, he had one girl. What's her name? Shanta, no? Shanta, yeah. So you will find that in this way, you find that whatever you don't have, the mind gets hooked to it. I want that, I want that, I want that. I want what he has, or I want what they have. And we don't think about what I have. We don't see that. So therefore, worry is created by that. We try to have aspiration and ambition for something what others possess. That also causes anxiety and completely mind is hooked in such things. Uh, yeah. And another thing yes, Roji, what else?
Can I share something?
Yes, Roji.
Roji, around 3 months ago, in October, I had severe eye problem. Similar thing I wanted to just share. So I went to the eye doctor. He looked at me and he said, I'm going to check it and this and that. Then he told I have some disease, which will make me blind. Like that he told. Yeah. So, but it's in the initial stage. But we'll find out in what stage it is after 3 months. Like that he told. And then I was in so much anxiety. But during that anxiety, Prabhuji, because of that situation, I took some prana. I started taking. I will not watch any nonsense with his eyes because only little vision is left. So for actually, Prabhuji, for 3 months I didn't watch YouTube only. I didn't watch anything. I was sitting in front of DTs. I was like, I don't know how long can I see you.
As much as I can take.
As much I can take. I don't know how can I live without seeing you. All that I did, Prabhuji. And then recently I got it checked. He said, surprisingly, it got reversed, he told. Then, no, it's good. But he told after 6 months again, he'll check. But the result, Prabhuji, is that after that day, in 2 days, something happened and the news came. I started watching the news. I was not watching, for some time. Sudden relaxation started coming, that, okay, it's okay, now it's, I know you took prana, but then, this is important, you should watch, something like that. So what is this, bro? It's like mode of passion, which is...
No, actually, that is one of the reasons why Krishnanand Prabhu always says, you should think that today is the last day, correct, no? He says, you should think that any time, death may come. Actually, we don't know. Sometimes we say that yesterday night, 9 o'clock, I was talking to somebody, next day morning is no more. We have seen people like that. Why he says that? Even he says that famous song, Keno Hare Krishna Naam Hari Bole Mano Prana Kande Na Hare Krishna Naam Hari Bole Mano Prana Kande Na. So asking that, oh my dear tongue, why don't you chant the holy name, attentively? When will you chant the holy name properly? Only on the day of death, when you are put in a stretcher and lifted by 4 people, at that time people would put fire to your mouth. Then are you going to chant? You won't be able to chant that time. You are already dead. Like that he says. So like very strong song it is. So therefore, Ranath Maharaj in those days, he would do one Bhajana Sandhya, in Bombay. Every week, Saturday evening, there will be Bhajan Sandhya. Big crowd would come. The temple hall will be like full every Saturday. It will be like 3 hours he would do, like almost 6 to 9. So the first song, inevitably, always he would start with is Durlabha Manusha Janma Lobhya Samsare. Every time he would begin with that. Durlabha manusha janma lobiya samsare. I think it start with that. So that song meaning you'll get frightened if you read that. Srigal, all these foxes will come in the forest seeing the dead body. They'll pluck out the eyes. They would eat the flesh in the body. Your body will become a food for jackals and eagles and crows. He says, "My Lord." It's very frightening for anybody. Very strong song it is, but sometimes remembering about the horrible nature of the material body and its inevitable destruction, it leads to detachment. And then, on one hand, it can lead to detachment. On the other hand, it can also lead to, like what you said, seriousness in remembering the Lord and seeing the deity as much as we can. Uh, Therefore, one point last time we discussed was about living in this world in a renounced temperament, like our Vidurji. Correct, no? Living in a renounced temperament. That's a good point. Thank you for the nice example. So, another thing.
We expect that our opinions should be accepted faithfully and followed exactly the way we have told our juniors. When they express a different idea, we quarrel and impose, leading to misunderstanding and unpleasant relationships, further leading to anxieties and worries in the mind as a constant background phenomenon, spoiling our day's chores and even sometimes for weeks together. Definitely, chanting quality is ruined by this.
Yeah.
Definitely, chanting quality is ruined by this, mainly because we may be thinking about them as my man. And now mind says, he doesn't seem to be my man because he doesn't accept my mood and opinions.
Okay. So, one of the ways to get out of these problems is that we should know that everybody has a circle of privacy into which we should not intrude. Uh, so, and every jiva has some opinion. In the very early days, when they are very young, they may not express their opinions. When they grow up, sometimes they may have a different opinion also, likely, because they read a lot, hear a lot, many other senior devotees they associate with. And over a period of time, you may discover that somebody who is in your custody may have a different opinion about certain things, and it may not exactly match with yours. So then what do we do with this? Yeah, read that.
Allow others to have their opinions and not worry too much about it. Consider it as variety is the mother of enjoyment. Like a bunch of flowers in a flower vase look more beautiful than same white color flower filling up the flower vase.
Isn't it? So my opinion is like white flower, but somebody is bringing orange color, blue color, green color, yellow color. Then multiple colors look very nice, makes the flower vase beautiful or ugly? Like more beautiful. Huh? Like for example, um, there was one very good Bengali singer devotee. See, I had planned out a 2 hour lecture program. Huh? 2.5 hours, very solid workshop was to be done. So everybody was gathered. But when that very beautiful Bengali song singer devotee came, everybody's mind was that, oh, we want to hear songs from the devotee. But if you are going to hear the songs, Vaishnava songs from the devotee, then our workshop will not be completed. But that devotee is very rare. You can't get him very easily. He sings for thousands of people and all comes. Yeah. So now you can do two things. You can actually curse in your mind that why this fellow came here now. He spoiled my workshop. Because you have a plan of giving workshop on that time, 2.5 hours. On the other hand, you can think that, see, Vaishnavas have a taste for kirtans also. So let this fellow sing, let this whole program be converted into a bhajan sandhya, no problem. Let it be. Let him sing for 1 hour. So instead of the workshop, you can give some short speech. Hmm. Half an hour, 1 hour speech, you can keep it. 1.5 hours, you can give him to sing kirtan. Because he is rare to get, and suddenly he has come to our temple. So like that I thought. So he sang the Kirtan. I also sat and I also realized it. Because inspiration and Krishna consciousness need not necessarily come only from the classes. It can also come from the Kirtans. Sometimes somebody, once, one proper disciple had come. So devotee was asking him for a class. He said, no, I can't give a class now. I'm going for some treatment. But I can just about 45 minutes, I can speak some realization. Half an hour, 45 minutes, I can speak some things. My experiences said, yeah. We said, yes. So almost 1.5 hours he spoke. Huh? Very beautiful. He didn't touch any book or anything, shloka, but many, many nice things he said about in his practice of Krishna consciousness. What all he came across. Very helpful for us. So it was a more of an inspirational class, but to inspire people more than when you would teach a systematic class from the scripture. Huh? So one thing we should know that the jivas get inspired by various things. You can say that. Jivas get Read that.
Jivas are sometimes more inspired by your humor, friendliness.
Oh, no. Jivas get inspired by after the flower vase. I can make it the next point. I'll make it the next point. Yeah.
Okay. Jivas get inspired by various things, not only our planned and organized classes, which we think will solidify them in their case. Jivas are sometimes more inspired by humor, friendliness, kirtans, sharing realization, panel talks, and many more. When you see your junior is inspired by some another seniors other than you, don't feel bad. One jiva can be inspired by many senior devotees other than us also. That is not chastity.
Sometimes, if we have brought somebody to Krishna consciousness, we think just like a wife is chaste to the husband, we think this devotee was brought by me, so this devotee should be only inspired by me and me alone. Mamekam Saranam Braja. We think that. And we may be shocked sometimes that they are inspired by some another god brother. They sometimes share with you that I heard so-and-so God brother's lecture, I heard. You heard his lecture, not my lecture. Huh? So therefore, one should know this is not unchastity. One can be inspired by many. Huh? Jivas can be inspired by many devotees. One can have many Shiksha Gurus also to be inspired. So these are all realities that we have to digest like a painful pill. Huh? It's a fact of life, facts of life. Actually, right now in a conscious stage, we are also struggling with our mind because in the liberated stage, this anarthas will go away. Huh? Actually, we will become a pure facilitator at that time. Pure facilitator means, now I'll come to the point very soon. Did it?
Hare Krishna. Once His Holiness Bhaktivikas Swami Maharaj gave a beautiful lecture on Krishna's supremacy and glories, and one boy got up and said, Maharaj, okay.
Yeah.
Once His Holiness Bhaktivikas Swami Maharaj gave a beautiful lecture on Krishna's supremacy and glories, and one boy got up and said, I have not accepted Krishna as supreme God in my life. Maharaj coolly said, that's your problem, not Krishna's problem. Take your sweet time to study scriptures, hear lectures, meet devotees to get clarification, and come to the right understanding. And Maharaj went on with other questions without becoming upset with that boy.
So that was a very good inspiration for me to know how if somebody disagrees with us, we don't have to become upset. Yeah, that's your problem. Because Maharaj is sympathetic and compassionate to him rather than thinking, hey, you say Krishna is not God, I will not leave you and I'll make a chutney out of you or something. Yeah. No, you don't have to prove to him Krishna is God instantly. Maharaj knows that people come with various backgrounds. They might have read so much different atheistic books and everything. And this poor jiva is struggling with lack of faith, and eventually he'll come to faith. you know. So he took it very lightly. So here is a very good example of how if somebody has a different opinion than mine, I don't have to become too much bogged down by that or worried about that. Just as I have certain unique opinions about certain things, others can also have. Correct now? Now there is a question. Say your spiritual master has certain opinions about certain things, and you have sometimes a different opinion about certain things. Yours is not exactly matching. That's because we all have our psychophysical nature, mindset, behavior, and everything. Correct now? So sometimes it may fear you. You may become fearful that, oh, Maharaj is stressing on certain things and I am not stressing. So once I asked Maharaj about this, I went personally to ask him. So then Maharaj said, you see, uh, he called us. He said, call 4 5 more devotees he called to room. And then he said, see, Sankirtan Prabhu, you see, he is very soft spoken. And he said, see, Gaurang Prabhu is very loud spoken. Huh? He speaks very well. So, and then he said, now everybody, they are what they are and they can't be like somebody else. He said, and then he told, see, Shaman Prabhu, he cracks a lot of jokes, Shaman Prabhu. Huh? And he said, Bhaktirasant Maharaj is very grave and sober in his speech. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Like that he will be very, very sober he will be. And Shaman Prabhu will crack a lot of jokes in brahmachari classes. Huh? Many people be catching their belly and laughing. You know? So he is very friendly. Nobody feels he is a senior because he will be just down to earth like that with people. So now Shaman Prabhu asked Maharaj, some people say I should become more sober like Bhaktivinoda Maharaj. And Maharaj laughed and said, no, he is what he is and you are what you are. If he tries to become like you and you try to become like him, it will not work. Because everybody has their swabhava, their nature. That's the next point. Not Mhm. I read that.
Hare Krishna. Do not become overly bothered about other swabhava. Husband wants his wife to surrender to him. Wife wants her mother-in-law to be as loving as her mother. Father-in-law is worried that all family members don't sit down at his lotus feet and listen to his updesh.
Mhm. Okay. Get that?
Yeah, in this way, people live miserable lives in their
Miserable
anxiety
lives.
lives in their anxiety-ridden minds, owing to others not matching with their expectations. But the swabhava of the people does not change easily. Sometimes it remains the same for whole life. So, should we carry our anxiety for our whole life foolishly? Get rid of it by let go principle taught by Lord Krishna in Gita and go on with our duties.
Then be done with it. Don't worry. If you don't worry, then your mind is very light, like a swab of cotton. So in this way, your mind can be free from the unnecessary anxiety because you can't change certain things. Now I'll tell you. See that? Huh?
Hare Krishna. More grosser than above are certain false expectations that we carry in our mind foolishly, which cause problems to us and others. Husband tells wife, I wish you were a little more fairer skinned. Wife tells husband, I wish you were a little more taller than now, instead of being short like a brinjal. Such talks only breed bitterness in relationship and never lets their life become better.
Yeah, you want life to be better or bitter? So, therefore, these are grosser, and the previous point I made is subtler. Huh? So, the gross expectations, and there are subtle expectations. Subtle expectations like opinions, ideas, my way is the highway, huh? That kind of thing. So, these are things which spoil our mind and keep our mind stupid in the worldly things. You see. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Hare Krishna. We should know that we have been gifted with a spouse, especially to purify us of certain tendencies in this lifetime. People who divorce their spouse and escape from that purification will be purified in future lifetimes.
Actually, according to Vedas, once you marry, you understand that this personality is sent specially designed for me. You know, to design in such a manner that I'll be uplifted, I'll be purified. You learn patience, you learn tolerance, you learn humility, you learn alignment with God. All the good qualities will come in you, provided you are willing to walk the path laid by God. Yes.
On a humorous side, Prabhuji, during one lecture, I was asking that, does God have a farm? Everybody said yes. I said, does karma have a farm? So look at your spouse. On a humorous side, it's not authentic.
Actually, our karmic reactions bring about our relatives, all our relatives around. It's ultimately for our good. Actually, sometimes you get very good also. Huh? Like our Archie was a very good spouse of Prithu, But whatever it is, husband gets a wife, wife gets husband. So Maharaj was, my Guru Maharaj was telling that actually we all have to tolerate each other. Because everybody has a good side and we all have a bad side also. Yeah. So that is why the swabhava is actually a psychophysical nature, which comes, the jiva brings it from the previous life and then it continues life after life. So the impressions and the bond with certain type of scripts, we say, those scripts are there. We can't just change overnight. Learn to live with it. We say, what cannot be cured must be endured. Yeah. What is that verse? Parasvabhava karmani. I'll just get the verse number. Eleven 28, 1 and 2. Now read that. This one, very. What cannot be this one? Yeah. Yeah, read that.
Hare Krishna. What cannot be cured must be endured. The scripts and appearances and behaviors of people should not be criticized. That will only lead to material absorption. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 11.
Parasvabhava karmani yah prashansati nindati sahyashu brashyate swarthat asati abhiniveshataha. It says, para means others, swabhava means their behavior, karmani means their activities. Yah prashansati nindati. If you enviously praise them or you criticize them, those things, how his behavior is like this, her behavior is like that, he looks like this, she looks like that, and all those things, their activities and behaviors, if you criticize, he says, Sakyashu brashyate swartat. Swartha is the natev swartha gatim hi Vishnu. Vishnu gati will not be attained, he says. Then what happens? Asati abhiniveshataha. You will become absorbed in matter, in material world, he says. That means your mind will become soaked in material discussions, which will be like, it will become absorbed in fault finding, criticizing, all those political things and things like that. So if you want to uplift our mind above material absorption, then we should just accept the way the life brings forth things in your life. All of us are rigidly put according to our karma in a certain situation, and then some plus minus is being awarded to us by God. We just accept it the way they are coming in our life. And that is why we have to learn contentment. You know the word contentment? Contentment. I'll write the point also. Is that?
Life throws challenges and often takes us through a bed of roses. In both situations, we are taught to remain equipoised and sticking to our duties because there is no point in throwing tantrums. We have to set sail through life with words of wisdom from saintly and make some spiritual progress by sticking to our spiritual duties without vainly complaining about people and situations.
Yeah. Na prakrishyet priyam prapya nodvijet prapya cha priyam sthira buddhi rasam mudho brahmani brahmavitsitaha. That's one verse. Dukkeshu anudignamana sukeshu vigataspраha vitaraga bhaya krodha satidhir muni ruchyate. These are the verses. Yas sarvatra anabhisnehas tattat prapya shubhashubham nabhinandati nadveshti tasya prajna pratishtita. Sukha dukhe same kritva labha labho jaya jayau. Like the Krishna says. So all these verses are talking about this. Many, many verses in Gita you will find. So therefore, study of the scriptures can make us, and if you study scriptures and implement in your life, you can become very peaceful in mind, knowing that, like, when I was a small kid, we went to Kanyakumari, my whole family went. So, that golden rock is there, no? The Kanyakumari, that you see the sun setting, and the Vivekananda rock is there. So we were about to go in a boat there. So the boat wala, he called us inside the boat, our whole family. So when we got into the boat was like toppling like this. And all of us are screaming because we all went to one side of the boat. Ah, ooh, you could hear the sounds. Everybody was screaming. We thought we were going to drown or something. And that boat fellow absolutely, there was no anxiety in his face. When the boat went like this, he put this leg like this and this leg he bent like this. Like this, he bent this leg. And he's holding like this. And the boat went like that, this leg is spread like this. And then this leg is bending. Then we also learned the technique what to do. I mean, similarly, life also will throw challenges. Challenges come this way, you do like this. That way it comes, you go. You know how to adjust and go on. Correct, no? So, because he is used to that, correct, no? He has been doing that for years. He has been taking people in the boat. We were boarding for the first time there. So we were like shocked. So don't be shocked, Prabhupada says. One should not be surprised by the life, the challenges thrown by life, he says. So then, like for example, even in the midst of challenge in the morning, you can peacefully chant. If you know that Krishna is in control, Krishna is aware of what challenges are coming in my life now. He is aware. So he will do what is good for me. He is like the father, big father. He knows, and let me go on with. So that's the right type of thought. Leave it to the Lord. That's why we say, leave it to the Lord. Do your best and let Krishna do the rest. Then go on with life rather than, some people become extremely bitter even in their old age. They criticize everybody and they make life hellish for all the family members. Some people are like that, because they just don't know how to handle the situations.
Prabhuji, I have a doubt. Prabhuji, when we go through difficult times, we get that anxiety, like you discussed some time ago. What will happen? How will it ultimately land into?
Yeah.
Then what you told now is, we say that Krishna is in control. He knows better. But then when we also look at the lives of some very senior devotees, like His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj, what he went through in the last time, is Krishna going to give the same mercy to me? I'm not ready for that. If
you are not ready, then he won't give it. Correct, na?
Yeah, remember, that's what I wanted to ask. You
Yeah.
know, how do we
Actually,
know?
even the test that Krishna gives to different people will be, see, Krishna doesn't delight in giving a test and making you fail. Just like a mother wants a child to be a toddler walker. Huh? Why? Because the child has come to a stage where the child can make an effort to get up. And touching the wall, he is walking. Now mother will say, better leave the wall. Come this side. Huh? And child may wonder, if I leave the wall, how will I balance? Mother will say, I will give you fingers. Huh? Catch my finger. And then he will walk with the finger. Suddenly she will raise the finger up and say, now you walk on your own. Huh? What is the idea of the mother? Does she want to see the child fall and suffer? No. She's just improving the ability of the child to stand on his own legs, isn't it? Same manner, a child which was swimming before, the mother will want the child to get up touching the wall. Huh? Some child is touching the wall and walking. Mother will want the child to walk away from the wall. Correct? No? In this way, Krishna actually makes us surrender more and more, become more mature, and according to our level, he'll give us test.
So, Prabhuji, is it that, so there are two thoughts to this. Like you said, Krishna will never give a test that will fail.
Correct.
Or is it that another way is Krishna will prepare me when that problem will come. You know, by that time he'll prepare me.
Yeah.
Which is
generally very big tests are given for pure devotees, very advanced devotees. Very, just like we find Parishit Maharaj, you know, he was made to put a snake around the neck of Swami Krishna. Actually, Lord puts such pure devotees in awkward positions. And sometimes devotees also put the Lord in awkward position also. Huh? Like, for example, you know that past time, you know, like Arjuna had taken a vow that if anybody tells me to put the Gandiva bow down, you know, I will kill him on the spot, isn't it? So when Yudhishthira Maharaj saw that he was fatally wounded, and immediately the charioteer took Yudhishthira Maharaj back to the backside tent. And then following him, Arjuna also came. Arjuna was worried about his elder brother. So he came to the tent and asked, brother, how are you now? Are you all right? Yudhishthira said, so you finished Karna? He asked him. Huh? So Arjuna said, no. I stopped fighting with him. I came behind you to see you whether you are all right. Yudhishthira said, what is this? You lost a very good opportunity. Momentous hour. He came so close. You could have defeated him very easily. Huh? Leaving that you come here, what's the use of your Gandiva bow? Give up your Gandiva bow. Like that he said. When Arjuna heard it, he was shocked. His whole body started trembling. His lips are quivering. Eyes became bloodshot. Anybody tells me to give up the Gandiva bow, I have to kill them. Huh? So when he immediately took a sword in the hand. Huh? So Lord Krishna said, why the sword? What are you going to do? I'm supposed to kill him. He said, you'll kill your brother? You know, what a foolish idea. Put it inside her. Then he put it inside. Then what am I supposed to do? He said, you criticize your brother to your heart's content. Huh? If you do that, because of sambhavitasya chakirtir, maranadati richate. For a Kshatriya, you know, dishonor is worse than death. You can do more than death also, no problem. So you scold him. So then he scolded Yudhishthira. He said, it's all because of you, we guys are suffering like this now. Behind what? We were having the whole kingdom. You kept so much wealth. Later on, you even kept your wife also. Even you yourself lost everything. And we were driven to forest and we suffered this, we suffered that, all because we followed your guidance. Things like that is called. And when Yudhishthira was hearing, he started weeping. Completely, his whole body was shaking. And when Arjuna saw that you know, Yudhishthira is crying like this. Actually, Lord went to Yudhishthira and said, Krishna went to pacify Yudhishthira. Don't worry. Yudhishthira, he correctly said, I am the cause of everything. He was taking everything. He said, I don't want the kingship. I'll better go to forest. Let Arjuna become the king. Krishna said, no. We all are working hard to make you the king. Huh? Because if you don't become the king, how can other Pandavas rule? Nobody will agree to rule. At last, he pacified and Yudhishthira convinced him. Then he saw again Arjuna picking up the sword. He asked, what? After humiliating my eldest brother like this, I don't deserve to live. I am going to cut my neck also. Again, Krishna again had to beg him, hey, Arjuna, wait a minute. You told because I told you. If you are angry, you should not be angry with yourself. You should be angry with me. Then he took some time to pacify him. So you can see how devotees put Lord in awkward position. Correct, no? So to pacify the devotees, Lord had to run from pillar to post. Huh? Just like Arjuna is saying, I will cut the head of Ashwatthama. Draupadi is saying, don't cut. And Lord Krishna is going back and forth. He's saying, cut here, he says, and then he says, here, Draupadi also. Lord cannot take a final call because with devotees he is super sensitive while dealing with devotees. For non-devotee, materialistic jivas and asuras, it's very easy for the Lord to take decision. Cut. Immediately can take. But devotees is very difficult because devotees are in his heart. He cannot take a decision very easily. So Lord has put many times, you see, these covered boys are getting into the mouth of the Ragasura. Krishna never wanted it. But Leela Shakti allowed them to get in with another purpose. Krishna thought, my Lord, in front of my eyes, all my friends are entering into the mouth. Since all of them have entered, I don't want to see them die. Let me also enter. No, he entered. And then he brought them back. So Lord and the devotee both put each other in awkward position. That putting each other in awkward position increases their intensity of loving attachment for each other. That's the beauty, But we are very tiny in front of those pure devotees. So we don't anticipate such very big awkward situations in our life. So we don't have to fear. One boy heard this verse, Yasyaham Anagrihanami. Somehow or other prematurely heard that verse. My Lord, he stopped coming to classes, he ran away after hearing that. Then afterwards, 4 devotees captured him and brought him to me. I never spoke it in the class. He read somewhere in some book he read. Then I told him, see, Sudama went to Krishna with chipped rice he gave. What did Krishna give him back? See, the fruit vendor lady gave so many fruits to Krishna only. She must have given 200 rupees worth of fruits. Krishna gave her 20 lakh worth of jewelry. See, just see. So Kubja gave little chandan. What did Krishna give back to Kubja? Just see. So like that, he told him multiple examples of what Krishna gave to whom. After he became passive, ठीक है प्रभु जी मैं अभी क्लास में आऊँगा वापस. Now I'll start coming to 10 classes again. So this way. So we were talking about the swabhava of others from this point onwards. We are talking about this. Before that, prior to that, I was talking about the opinions. Where is it? Opinions here. Now, one more very important point. Yeah, read that.
A a perfectionist approach to life makes us proud on one hand. I can never do wrong. I can never commit mistakes. Look at the work I have done. I do spotless work. Also, such boastful mentality make us struggle hard to keep pace with what we have promised others. In order for us to prove what we have spoken about our abilities, also those who are unable to match with our perfectionist expectations, we get frustrated with them and consider no one in the world worthy of delegation or trust, except taking up all the tasks on our own head due to desire to grab all credit oneself. This is another vital aspect of life that steals our mind.
And yeah, read that.
This is another vital aspect of life that steals our mind. Such people sometimes even commit suicide. Example Raja Raman, who studied CA and UCLA, shot himself, his wife, three children during economic recession in USA when he went from being a billionaire to a mediocre.
Yeah. So the such perfection approach also steals the mind. We can't peacefully chant. This occupies the mind also. Oh, he didn't do the way I told. He didn't do the way I told. These fellows are useless fellows. In this way, one becomes very, very self-centered by this also. So,
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Should I read from?
I'm still finishing. Now we can read now.
Sorry, Guruji. Hare Krishna. CEOIF. Control, expectations, opinion, insult, frustration are some of the common causes for our arousal of anger.
See, we can easily remember CEO if I am CEO. You know, like that. Correct, no?
Anger and disturbed mind. We have to study scriptures and internalize the understanding of how Krishna is the supreme controller of everything, everyone, and everything. We should reduce our unrealistic expectations. We should be open minded to listen to others' opinions. We can offer our opinion and be detached. We should look into any element of truth in insult of others and try to rectify ourselves to become better individuals. We should have good friends to vent out our frustrations and take help and guidance on how to see it and not get frustrated. We can also cultivate detachment from expectations to avoid getting frustrated.
Correct, no? Like somebody is insulting you, you can check. Oh, wait a minute, Prabhu. Let me understand. I think you are a little upset with me, therefore you are speaking like this. Let me make a note of it. You tell me how do you think I could have done that matter otherwise instead of doing like this? So if you are in goodness, you are always in a mood of being receptive and willing to listen. And people feel very happy also. Oh, I insulted this person, but he did not get offended. Rather, he is trying to find out some meaning from what I am speaking. Then they also cool down. Then they may become little more, uh, better in their speech. And then you can draw some help from them. So in this way, each of these can be tackled there.
Prabhuji, on this aspect, what is at stake also, like what is at stake also makes a difference. Like, for example, if it is related to somebody who is doing some activity which may not directly impact me, then I can easily apply the CUIF. But if it is, I know that his activity is going to impact me. I'll give a small example. Like these days, children, they are seeing the social media, and there is a whole vibe about eating protein food. Everybody is talking, eat protein, eat protein, eat protein, right? Now, it may be true partially, but it's not like our ancestors. They managed without all this propaganda also. They ate carbs also, fat also, protein also. Was part of our diet. But now children is like, I want to eat protein. I want to eat this much protein, that much protein. And then, I went and spoke, it not only with my children, many children I'm seeing this. Why are you eating so much protein? No, you people don't know what you ate. Now we are telling what we should eat. Don't you see? We should eat protein now. Now I can. Now I cannot ignore that as well, because if he keeps eating so much protein, I have to pay the hospital bill ultimately. He'll get sick and I have to take him. Now I have to stop him from doing that.
One of the easiest ways to stop him to do that, especially for adolescent children, is to get some article or video which tells about the harm involved in going for too much protein. You just take a link and just send them. Somebody send me this, you just have a look. Because when you give proper reasoning, then they are more convinced than when you tell from your own experience. When a doctor says, like one cinema actor, he ate too much dry fruits, every day he ate a huge quantity and died also. Yeah, too much of eating is not good because body cannot take it also. So one should know these dry fruits, the benefit of these dry fruits comes after 8 years. According to Ayurveda, it takes 7-8 years to sink in the body and gradually the effect will come. And every day, maximum dry fruits you can take this much. What can fit in your 2 hands? According to dietitians will tell you. You can ask only that. Beyond that, it is not good. It won't digest in the body. So Therefore, anything you overdo, it can be harmful. Correct now. And putting too much tablets in the name of vitamin supplements. People eat this much tablets nowadays. Very bad. So, especially growing up children think that we are more smarter than the people of the old times. They think so. Then we have to you have to take a thorn with a thorn. Correct now. How? Okay, their knowledge is based on some video they have seen. So you get another video which knocks down their misunderstanding. Correct now. One or two or three videos, then they will change. Correct now. So they need reasoning, especially once they become adolescent. Otherwise, they will think that you are imposing. Correct now. Make sense? Yeah. Because if you give them something that's a proper reasoning, then they also start considering, hey, this is true. I have to be careful. In the name of protein, I shouldn't take too much.
Yeah. So it was more related to how do I control my mind when I go through this whole. Like this is only one of the things, dealing with teenagers.
Yeah.
When I was young.
But even when you take our own mind also, our mind is wanting to copy somebody is doing it. Again, there are both type of videos nowadays. One fellow will say, protein, somebody will say. Another fellow will say, it's good, it's right, but not so much. There has to be a kind of balance. Other people talk. Especially, I generally take the authority of people who are proven people for long period, who are mature. Otherwise, many people, nowadays are saying many things. Whom to trust? I would trust somebody who is long-standing, steady, and like, this Vaidyanath company, Vaidyanath, there is one. These was for 200 years or something like that, steadily making items, and they are not just greedy fellows. There are so many others who come in the market now. Still, Vaidyanath is doing the regular things also. They're like proven. Like we say, old is gold, no? So there are people like that. And also, it has not harmed anybody. I mean, all the items they make are very, very healthy items they make. So the idea is, when we take information, whom to take from? You can't just take from any Tom, Dick, and Harry. So we have to get authentic information for pacifying your mind, that you don't go for example, exercise you do, yoga also. You shouldn't do too much. Like, in one place in South India, it seems that one lady wanted to reduce her obesity so that she can be slim. Huh? But then she fasted for more than 40 days, not taking anything, and she passed away. You know, yeah, because beyond 40 days, it's not good to fast. Body will get completely emaciated. You don't take anything. Huh? So sometimes we should not overdo things. Hmm. Like one fellow followed Ekadashi and he had a severe stomach ache. He went to the doctor and said, Doctor asked, what did you do? Why are you screaming like this? What Ekadashi you did? Doctor, I didn't do anything, doctor. I just took only fruits, doctor. Doctor said, if you took fruits, you may not be like this. You're supposed to be healthy. What fruits you took? How much you took? Said, I just ate only 3 dozen bananas, doctor, nothing else. He said, 3 dozen bananas? Doctor said, because he said, somebody told me if you are Ekadashi, you can be a Falahari Baba on Ekadashi day. Huh? So I tried to be a Falahari. Doctor said, Falahari is all right, but this much Falahar? 3 dozen bananas, big, big bananas. Doctor, now I have to take all the bananas out of your belly now. Then the stomach pain will go. Correct, no? Like in proper time also, some hippies, when they were becoming full-time devotees in temple, one hippie was drinking 4 or 5 glasses of milk. The matter was taken to Prabhupada. Prabhupada is demanding too much milk every day. And when he went to Prabhupada, why are you doing this? Huh? And the hippie said, Prabhupada, I am so much in Rajo and Tamo. Huh? I want to come to Sattva as quickly as possible. He said, Prabhupada said, you see, more than 400 or 500 ml milk, that will produce Rajoguna. Prabhupada says, milk should not be taken more than 400 ml max. Huh? So too much excess of ghee, excess of milk also will produce rajas, he said. So therefore our shastras are very, very deep in explaining these things. In the name of, one shouldn't whimsically do anything. Right, no? One last thing I will write and we'll conclude. Yeah, is that?
Be friendly with the cheerful, delight in the virtuous, be compassionate to the innocent, keep away from the envious. These are taught in yoga system. To keep our mind simple, free from duplicity, and always carry well-wishing thoughts of goodwill for all. Such a mindset is very
Conducive.
conducive for spiritual practice, and then meditation can be progressive.
Um, I'll save this. I can put it in WhatsApp for Nilanpo, you will send it to others. Put it, okay?
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. Prabhuji, one question. Sometimes material desires are not fulfilled and devotees try to come towards devotion. They have not given up that desire for that, they have not given up that interest or that desire itself. But they somehow, changed it or covered it with spiritual and they've gone forward. So there is some rupture that is there, deep inside their hearts.
Still lingering.
Lingering, I don't know if lingering is a word, but they have been deeply hurt. It may be a desire, it may be an incident, whatever. Now they're continuing and living with that. Now, somewhere in the spiritual life, when that aspect is a little shaken, right, it completely disturbs the chanting, it completely disturbs, and like, what do you do with these old sore wounds of material life?
Actually, both the first offense and the 10th offense, if you see, no? First offense is about dvesh, and 10th offense is about raga. These two are the deepest things in the mind. Jiva will take long time to give up these two things. Because attachment is more serious than likes. Similarly, hatred or enmity or hatred, that is more severe than dislike. So when problems are at the dislike level, we should uproot it and not let it turn to the point of hatred. Because hatred leads to revengeful thoughts, violent thoughts, and we think of harm for others. Sometimes people even quarrel, fight, and so like there are some people who whose mail I don't reply at all. There are some envious people, who are very critical, criticize, because they have their own idea of how things should be. Correct now, for example, one such devotee, he thinks that dharma, artha, kama, moksha is more important. We should teach people how to enjoy life in a Vedic way. And I speak straightforward, I speak Bhagavatam type approach. So he becomes envious and throws blasphemous words and everything like that. So when you don't respond at all, 1, 2, 3, 4 minutes you don't respond, then they die off. Correct, no? Like, only when you respond, 2 hands come, then there is. So initially I was trying to defend and explain. But my making effort to explain was falling in deaf ears. I saw that it is not getting anywhere. Then I stopped now. No noise is coming now. After some time, the noise will stop. Correct, no? So In the same manner, if we have some old impressions of hatred or attachment, both, one has to very carefully work in getting it eradicated. One one real life example I'll tell you. Once one person was at the level of a counselor, and one day he went to one of the airports in the cosmopolitan city airport. He was sitting waiting for the flight. It was like a connecting flight. He was waiting, and suddenly he saw a lady coming, and then that happened to be his cousin. You know, so distant cousin. And these two people actually they had intended to marry at one time. They wanted a love marriage, but it couldn't happen because the family didn't allow. So he married somebody, and he had two children, and she was married to somebody else, and she has two children now. But now he is like 42, 43 now. And she's also like 37, 38 now. But they again, accidentally, they saw each other. And then she sat and said, "Hey, how are you doing these days?" And then he said, "Now I am into Krishna consciousness, and I'm doing bhakti yoga and everything." He had a copy of Bhagavad Gita as it is, so he gave her, "You please take this." And he taught her how to chant. He had a japamal also with him, extra. He gave her. And she was very grateful. "Thank you. These things are necessary now. Our children are growing now. It's very nice to teach them also nice sanskar and all." So then they departed to respective different destinations. Now this lady, and she read Bhagavad Gita, that really hit her hard. And it was so powerfully, it impacted her positively. She increased her rounds to 8 rounds. He started with 1 round, she came to 8 rounds. And then she called this guy and said, "Now I have come to 8 rounds now. Swami Prabhupada's style of explaining is so good, it is so lucid. I really love it, very nice." And he was also very happy that in this way she's picking up Krishna consciousness. And then whenever she had questions, she just called him and he would answer the questions. It was going on nicely for a few months, three to 6 months, like that. Meanwhile, she had some tussle problem in the family with her husband, and they both had little clashes and everything like that. So she was asking him, this person, that, see, we are winning the world outside, but we are, defeating one another within the home. We are not very cooperative. She asked, "In your Krishna consciousness, is there any education for this? How do we maturely and respectfully deal with one another, within a family situation and everything like that?" So when she asked, then he gave her many pointers. What we teach in counseling and all, everything. You can do this, do that, and everything. But in the meantime, in the course of counseling her, guiding her, he revived the old thing. Now I am coming to your question now. The old romantic feelings which he had for her, now it started coming now. Because he was not allowed by his parents to marry her at that time. Now he, in the course of talking to her, he proposed to her and said, "See, if you are having difficulty with your spouse, why don't you divorce? I can marry you." She said, "What? What are you talking? You are married, your wife is a good lady, and you are a devotee. She is both are initially devotees, and you have two wonderful children also. You are a good family. I know her, I know your children. And I am married, I have also two children. And already we are old now, children are growing up now. What are you talking about divorce? How can you ever, even how can such a thought pass your mind?" She asked. He said, "Don't you remember in those days when we were in college, we were planning to marry. Our elders didn't allow us, otherwise marriage would have gone smoothly. Now I am just proposing to you because you divorce your spouse and I will divorce mine. And whatever we both desired before, now no elder can control us now. They all have become too old now." She just put the phone down. But she thought this fellow has gone crazy. One intelligent thing she did, she went to her husband and told the whole story, that this fellow was liking me before, but we never interacted closely. As a relative, I know him. But now, after so many years, he's so shameless, he's talking like this. So she told, "You complain about this guy to this fellow's temple president." She told him. And then by her revealing about this guy, now husband-wife relationship became thicker now. Because now they both developed sympathy for each other. Husband felt, oh, she's confiding with me something. She could have kicked me away and gone with him. Huh? She didn't go. She's coming towards me. So then husband's attitude towards wife so totally changed and they became very thickly connected again. They cried together and then they forgave and forgot everything. And then this fellow complained to temple president and temple president caught that fellow. Hey, huh? What are you doing? You are a married man, so-called. Then he was suspended from counseling for a couple of years. You cannot do this nonsense. So why am I telling you this? Sometimes somebody has done some romantic things in the teenage and then that gets revived even after one is 50, 60. It's a very shameless thing. I mean, very shameful thing it is. So one should be very careful with the old. Actually, they have to be burned away. Krishna says, Aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshishyami. So the kama karma bibejanam yasya chetasi sambhavaha vasudevaika nilayaha savai bhagavatatma. One verse says that when you become a pure devotee, then the old vasanas cannot trouble us because they get burned or, drowned. You either drown them in bhakti bliss or you burn them with jnana, by which the old thing cannot revive. Like if you fry a seed, it cannot germinate. Similarly, if you drown a seed in water, it cannot again germinate. It rots. Similarly, our kama karma bijas are there in our mind. We have to completely either drown them with bhakti or fry them with jnana and get rid of it. And we can get rid of it. And we have to be alert and careful. We should not become overconfident even after we become 50, 60, 70 years also. Bhaktivinoda Thakur was, more than 60 plus. At that time, OBL Kapoor, his wife wanted to talk to Bhaktivinoda Thakur. She said, I want to talk to you alone, not with him. He said, no, bring your husband. Both of you should talk to me. But she said, no, problem is with him only, but how can I bring him? He said, no problem. I will understand. You explain. I am like a father for both of you. So he said, although she was like a granddaughter, he did not meet her alone. So even at that stage, similarly, there was one more very big landlord who is a donor also. His mother wanted to meet him alone. His mother was in 80s. So she was in 80s. She wanted to meet alone regarding some family quarrels between the family members. She wanted to take some help. He said, although you may be very old, your sannyasi cannot meet a woman alone. You strictly followed. So these are maryada which we can implement in our life, by which the old vasanas will not get chance to germinate again. They will be finished eventually. They'll be burned over a period of time. Makes it clear? Yeah. I have a flight. I have to rush. 4:30 sharp. I have to leave from here because I'm going to Bombay. There is Kamalochan Prabhu's sannyas tomorrow. Yeah. I'm just going for that and coming back tomorrow. Prabhupada ki. So I have put the notes with you. Devotees can just go through that.